So let's quickly cover what exactly, like how I structured this 12-month journey and challenge. All the months, one topic per month to really deep dive into one topic per month and to really focus. Because I think often where I at least get lost is because I have a million things that I want to work on. I want to do more SEO, like blog posts. I want to network more. I want to do more portfolio work, more creative work. But if we all fit that in within the same week, it just feels incredibly draining, and also it's just not really effective, because in terms of productivity, time blocking or really like deep diving into something, it just gets you way further, or at least that's the way I see it and that's the way I work. If you're multitasking, well, good for you. Unfortunately, that's not really who I am. So that's why I structured it this way, to really be able to focus fully on one thing. First of all, January. We're already first week of January, almost the second week, depending on when I get this video out and ready. But first month, really important, goal setting and clarity and vision. So vision and clarity. Well, this month is all about really gaining clarity, because obviously if we don't know where we want to go or where we want to end up, it's hard to start, because I think we always need direction. Otherwise, all our actions are leading nowhere if you don't know where the path goes. So I really want to sit down with myself and write down some goals. Probably that will entail yearly goals as well as monthly goals, which are basically already covered also with the challenge, because I work on a certain topic each month. But goal setting is a really important thing, because I'm not the biggest fan of goal setting normally, and I really try to change that, because I feel like, because I have all these blockages and self-doubts, I often feel like I'm not gonna reach the goals anyways, because like with these courses I've done, and there's a lot of them, they always urge you to dream big. But to be honest, what it does to me is like, if you dream too big, it just feels unrealistic, and I'm like, okay, I might as well not even start, because like no way I'm gonna hit 15K this month. So that's why I'm always a bit careful with that, but I want to set realistic goals that at the same time inspire me to take action, if you know what I mean. Then also another important thing is to really get a bit clear about my target audience and my niche. I really want to know who exactly it is that I want to work with and to work for. I want to become crystal clear about my dream clients and what exactly it is that I want to do. As I said, I do wedding photography, but I would love to do more lifestyle, portrait and brands. And maybe, I'm not sure if I want to pursue wedding photography for the rest of my life, but I would love to shift my focus a bit to be in a bit of a more creative field of photography. But as I said, I'm a little bit confused still of where exactly I want to be situated. That's why this month I really want to sit down and be honest with myself. Where do I see myself long term? And last but not least, really important, I want to really pin down my why. Why do I want to do photography? Why do I do what I do? And what's the purpose behind my work? How do I cater towards others? And yeah, because I think the why is one of the biggest drivers of our own success, because if we don't know why we do what we do, it's easy to kind of get lost and to not stay on top of your game. So that's why January is all about clarity and vision. So February, because I think it's another important base, I want to dedicate to mindset and confidence, because as well as goals, mindset is such an important factor to success and to a successful, sustainable, creative business, that I really want to tackle it early on, because I suspect that for me, and probably for you as well, if you're kind of stuck like me, that mindset is probably one of the most crucial factors in this mix, and that therefore I really want to tackle this early on. So I really want to dedicate that month of February to really build and gain my confidence. I really suffer from imposter syndrome. I always feel like I'm not good enough, and I really want to work on that. And first of all, I want to work on that by really kind of reconnecting with myself. I know, as cliche as that sounds maybe, but I've been really into yoga for a long time. I even am a yoga teacher, but I have not really had a yoga or mindfulness routine at all for the last couple of weeks or even months. So I think it's so important to kind of go back listen into my own self, sit down with myself, because it's so easy to just get distracted by all this outside noise, and therefore also kind of get stuck in this comparison spiral, which I really am really bad at, because if I compare myself a lot, especially social media makes it a lot worse. And that's why this is a really important factor for me to gain more confidence. I need to sit with myself. I need to find this inner strength and peace. Also, I will read a lot and about the whole topic of mindset, and yeah, I want to do little tasks and missions to improve that and really create a solid basis for the rest of this journey. Then month of March is all about creativity and exploration, because most creatives, I guess, have had that they're feeling a bit uninspired and drained. And I think there's nothing scarier, or almost nothing scarier as a creative, than to feel uninspired, because it's kind of the driving force or driving skill of our work. And if you're not feeling inspired to create, it is a huge block on our journey. And I've been there, and I really want to find ways to successfully navigate these blockages and times of uninspiredness. I know it's probably totally normal, especially when we're under a lot of pressure and stress, to kind of lose our creativity a bit. But that's why I really want to dedicate March to exploration and creation. So I think often, especially when we're at a certain point in our career, we feel like we're not just creating for the sake of creating anymore, because we always just cater to other people. And I think it's so important to kind of take a step back every now and then and just to do something that you really enjoy doing. So I want to be in March totally creative, get out of my shell, set up some really cool shoots, work together with other creatives and other people in the industry to set up some cool style shoots, to also experiment more with film photography. I love film photography. I would love to get into Super 8, but still I'm a little bit hesitant or scared sometimes, because I feel like I'm not good enough. And March, I really want to do without judgment. I want to create for the sake of creating and see what comes out of that, as a driving force to really feel inspired and find that spark back. In April, then I want to go back into more the businessy side of things. I want to focus April on branding and identity. I think it's super important after all this goal setting and working and exploring to really get a bit more clear on who I am as a brand. As I said, I have a lifestyle photography business, a web design business, and a wedding photography business, and it's not always easy to handle 3 of them. And I'm also, let's see, maybe after these 12 months I decide to drop something or change things up. But I think for now it's super important to really be clear about what I want with each business and how I want to be seen from the outside, and also most importantly how I want to see myself. Because I think what I haven't realized, or what we often don't realize, is how are our ideal clients supposed to find us if we're not really attracting them by a sense of if you're not putting out the work or the brand that actually would attract them. I think it's really important that, for example, I would love to go more into a documentary style, filmy kind of look and vibe, and I'm working towards that style and discovering that side of me. But for so long, my website hasn't reflected that at all. Recently though, I've got around to finally redo my whole website with my wedding photography, which also led me to find much more joy in that, because I feel like I'm in charge of my own business way more, because I can steer it into the direction that I want it to go and attract the right people. But for my other business, for my lifestyle, fashion, brand photography business, I don't really have a certain image yet. I don't really have a logo that I really like, and I'm a bit confused of where it should go. And along with the goals that I set for myself, I really want to work on redesigning my website, redesigning my creative identity, and so on, to really have a solid presence. Then in May, I really want to work on skill development. And I think it's so important that we never stop learning, because there's always something to learn. And I think with regards to me, that really means I would love to get a bit more into the technical things of photography, because I think I'm quite good with creative vision, etc. and concepts, but I struggle sometimes with certain technical things, and I would love to, for example, get my toes into studio photography, because studio lighting is still a bit uncharted territory for me, because I'm a little bit like and I prefer to work with natural lighting, but I think it's a super vital skill to have. Therefore, I really want to work on learning studio photography. Also, as I mentioned earlier, film photography, to learn more about film cameras and how to set it up properly, because right now I'm mostly shooting with a point and shoot, which is super easy, but I would love to go with a more manual film camera. So these are a few things, but then there's so much else, like for example, storytelling, especially the style that I have and that I want to foster a bit more, is very documentary based, it really is rooted in storytelling. I think storytelling, therefore, is really something I want to work on. I hope to find some good online resources, or maybe even find a cool workshop that I can attend, because I think it's so important. Because I want people to feel something when they look at my images. I don't want these static images, I want movement and I want emotion. So therefore also I want to work on my posing skills, which has been ongoing, but I really want to dive deep and learn as much as I can, do online courses, attend workshops and online seminars, and talk and exchange with other photographers out there. Then June is all about marketing and lead generation. I mean, let's be real, marketing could be done the whole year round, and I also will do certain things. I will have certain small goals that I will do recurrently each month that are not restricted to 1 month, because for example, certain marketing activities or social media, obviously, they just should happen all the time. So that's why, however, June is really about, deep diving into the whole marketing. In my case, I really want to get my toes more into SEO and writing some really solid blog posts, because organic traffic is so, it's just great because it doesn't cost anything other than like a one-time effort. And obviously, yes, SEO is a recurring effort, but it's much more affordable than spending so many dollars on paid ads that don't really get you anywhere. I do run ads, but that's also why I really want to kind of dive deep more into how to successfully target my ads and how to structure them a bit better to actually get clients. That month, I really also want to work on lead generation. So I have started creating lists in the past of brands and people that I would want to work with, but often I just pitch once and then never again. And the chances that you pitch at the wrong time and that you just end up in people's spam box is quite high. So that month, I really want to be relentless and really have a more structured approach to pitching and really get myself out there and hopefully land myself some clients. Then July is all about networking and collaboration. I think as a photographer especially, or a creative business, first of all, I mean, because I said it's so isolating, I often wonder why the hell do I not attend more events and get out there, out of my shell, and connect with other photographers and people in the industry. So that month I really want to do that. I want to, for the sake of my mental health, connect more with other people, because I tend to hide a little bit behind my laptop, but also because I think networking is one of the, probably not the best way of finding new clients and getting more work, because so often photography is referral based and word of mouth. So I really think it's also because it's one of the easiest routes in marketing. If you really like this has limitless potential, and I think currently I'm not really making use of it at all. And I really want to hone in on networking, get my business cards redesigned and out there, connect, even though if it's scary, sometimes go out there, go to people and put down your business cards, talk to them, let them know that I'm a photographer and that I'm open for work. And just also to meet up with other photographers, link up with other vendors, for example, in the wedding industry and also in the fashion industry, and really make a more, an increased effort towards that. Then August is all about process optimization. And that's probably one of the things that I'm shying away a little bit from, because I'm a very creative person and I don't really like systems too much. But I really know that businesses or successful businesses need structure. So I really want to work on certain things. For example, I want to streamline my workflow a little bit more, because I feel like my editing workflow, for example, could be way more efficient and effective and save me a lot of time and headaches. So I really want to get into a certain routine and have a more structured process and approach towards that. Also, I want to optimize the speed of my delivery, because it always stresses me a bit because I always tend to keep things for last minute, and I want to deliver my galleries a bit faster, because I also know my couples are waiting and that they're really looking forward to receiving that. So therefore I want to optimize my delivery workflow. Then also I really want to improve my client communication, because I think I'm not always the fastest in responding, and sometimes I focus a bit too much on like creative things rather than talking to my clients. And obviously it's super important that they feel heard and that their matters are attended to as fast as possible. So that's another thing I really want to work on, as well as creating myself some email workflows and templates to kind of just refine and optimize the whole process. So September is all about finding ways to create passive or recurring income streams. I think as a photographer, I have never really tapped into that potential, but I think it's so important to find ways to make also a bit more easier recurring income, be that through the sale of art prints or for the sale of mini online courses or templates or presets or whatever. I don't know yet what it's gonna be, but I really want to hone into that whole thing of passive income. So I really want to sit down, think of ways, how can I take what I already know and create passive income from that? Because passive income, who doesn't want to have passive income, right? So especially as a photographer, I think it's so important to find ways to kind of back you up during slower seasons. That's why I think it's for me so important to finally tackle that topic. Then in October, my goal is to either get published or to exhibit my work. I've never gotten published by any magazines. It's a bit sad, but to be honest, I've also never made an effort. I've never really linked up to any magazines, maybe one, but that didn't go through. But I've never really made an effort myself, and I feel so much is really dependent on you getting yourself out there and actually applying to opportunities and pitching yourself to magazines and outlets. Because I think we often over-rely on people just coming to us, and I think often that's not the way it works unless you're amazing and good. But no, you know what I mean. But that's why I really want to make a more sustained effort to get published that month, or I would love to exhibit my work. I've never had my work on display, and with some shoots I do, they're quite creative. I think it does have potential to create a little exhibit, and I think it would be quite a cool experience. It would kind of get my name out there. It would open up possibly some new doors, but also just for myself, I think it will give me a lot of more confidence and credibility to finally acknowledge that I am a photographer, no matter what, and just to gain that confidence. In November, I really want to give back and create with purpose. That might be a bit of a more unusual or unexpected one, but I think it's so important that I don't want to make this challenge just about me. I really want to give back, especially towards the end of the year. I think it's so important that with our art, we can also cater to other people. I think often we underestimate the potential that photography has to really create a difference and impact. And I know it might sound naive, but I still hope that my photography or photography in general has the potential to make a difference. But I often don't really do voluntary work anymore, because when I'm just so busy with my part-time job and my photography, etc., that it feels sometimes it's not really the first priority. But I think it's so nice, and it could be such a beautiful opportunity to partner up with some local NGOs, and because I really know they do appreciate the work a lot, and I know that it also gives back after just focusing so much on yourself and your business, to really take that month to reverse it and to really give back in whatever way that may be it, for example, here in South Africa there's a lot of NGOs for clean water. Viva Con Agua is active here, for example, or ocean protection. I would love to find ways to help them through my photography, and who knows, maybe a cool thing comes out of that. Then last but not least, December is all about reviewing and reflection, because the 12 months have come to an end, and I'm very curious to go back and evaluate how I did in a non-judgmental way, because as long, I think, as I'm trying, as you're trying, we did great. So that's the whole point of this, to really try and get yourself out there. So reviewing is a big substantial part, obviously, because it's really important to kind of assess where the journey has taken me and which areas still might need improvement, or where I want to work on, where I want to put more effort on. Maybe there's areas where I notice like I would love to outsource them because they're not really my piece of cake. But also to really take a moment to just step back and celebrate the wins of the year, because I think often we don't give ourselves enough credibility and taps on the shoulder, and I think we deserve to do that more often. So much to the 12-month challenge, but that will be more or less the structure, and then I will create videos each month. I'm not sure yet if that will be just one video, or if it will be a bi-weekly video, or if I'm feeling super inspired even in weekly video, to on the one hand kind of break down more what I will exactly do each month, and also to come back regularly and check like the progress and to share the journey of what I'm doing. So more on that later, but for now that's all you need to know, and I hope it makes sense. I mean, this is the structure I came up with. Obviously, if you want to do this, you can always replace certain things or change them around, but for me, after sitting down and thinking, that was just what made the most sense. And yes, I'm very excited to start this project, and I hope I can inspire you too, and hopefully we'll see you soon.